Illustrations by Pete.
Okay everyone, so down below I've started to monetize the channel a little bit. I'm getting back into the Amazon thing. I redid all the links. I don't have them up on all the videos yet. I'm gonna start working backwards and just until I get everything labeled, unless I get kicked out again, which I've gotten kicked out multiple times. That's okay. I also started a merch shop. I said, hey, I should have a t-shirt and a hat. I'll show you the design. I've also started a Patreon. I don't know, I feel weird about Patreon. I don't like that people put like a paywall between their content and their audience. I don't like that, so I didn't do that. It's just a Patreon to help fund the channel. If you can, great. So what I recommend you doing is, even if you don't like me a whole lot, that's okay. Go find another artist that you do support, because we are all hungry. And go click their Amazon link and buy whatever it is you're going to buy anyway. I do that all the time. I buy off Amazon all the time. And I always go to YouTube, to an artist that I support, click a link. You don't have to buy that thing. You could buy whatever you want, but you click the link to get to Amazon and they get a commission for it. It just helps feed us. So I have those listed down below. Thank you so much for all of you who support the channel, and just you watching a video helps to support the channel, helps me get further along to my goals. If you can, use the links down here. Otherwise, just thank you for watching. I really appreciate your time. Alright, I'm going to take it to the street. I had a visit from my friend Harry the Pittouy Gnome. And in case you do not know what a gnome is, think of a North Pole Christmas elf, but entirely mean. Just the meanest thing you could ever imagine. If you ever go to look for your keys and they're missing, and then you find them in a place that you know you've never put them, that's what a gnome does. But this one, Harry and I have a very complicated relationship. He brings me gifts, but he knows those gifts are going to be incredibly frustrating to me. While I'm happy to get the gifts, he's watching, and as soon as I get frustrated, he is laughing continuously. So he went and brought me something. Say I went to the store. It's called Five Below. Everything in it's 5 or under, which is good because I'm an artist and I don't have any money. So if you're like me, when you walk through the store, if you find an art supply you've never seen before, you get excited. It's like Christmas. And then you find this thing and you have to have it, and it was cheap. It was $2. It's called a Sharpie S-Gel. I did not know Sharpie made gel pens. No idea. And they write so smooth. And I took one to work, and I wrote with it for a few days, and I said, man, this is so smooth. This would be great for an art pen. That's water soluble, that's okay, most gel pens are. But as we're gonna see here, someone asked that question. But would it frustrate me? Would I get to the point where Harry would be just laughing on the floor, gasping for breath as I try to use this product for art? I don't know. We're gonna find out. So I don't know if this is more stable. It better be. This better be more stable than anything I've ever done. It's a new camera. I sold an amp. I sold the pedals. I said, that shirt, you'll never see it again. I sold it for $5. But I think this is smoother, and I think this is a lot nicer. It's tough to get used to the settings. A lot of user error on this. But I'm hoping that it's going to be good. So the Nikon had a lens on it that was 17 to 50 with a 1.5 crop, so that's about 25 to 26 mils, and it was a 2.8, so that brings it to a 4.2 aperture. So things were nice in the background. About 4, roughly 4 is where you walk around. This one is a 15 mil with it's a micro 4/3, so it's got a 2x crop on it. So it's actually 30 mil, and it's a 1.7, so it's a 3.4 aperture. So things should be a little bit fuzzier. Are they too fuzzy? I can stop it down. That's at a 4. Is that a little better? Are things less blurry? Because if it gets too blurry, it's no good. You don't want that at all. Oh, I'm walking into a dust cloud from someone mowing their lawn, that's not going to be a good thing. Not at all. I think we're going to go to the park today. Someone is mowing their lawn and it's going to mess up my audio. And now stuff is getting in my eyes. See, you don't want it to be too blurry because then it's just distracting. So a little bit of blur is good in the background. I think people who use too much blur in the background are they're very egotistical. Like they're the only important thing in the whole shot. You're not in a movie. You're vlogging. You don't need to be that blurry. So I went with this. I don't know, it's a little bit tighter of a shot. You can see me a little bit closer. Is this too personal? Is this too close for our relationship right now? It could be. Why do I feel like I'm walking onto the scene of a crime? There's a lawnmower open to a gate in the back and children's clothing strewn about with their food. Oh no. Where is this child? Have you seen this child? Oh no. They're gone. So, how is it handling this? The sun directly in my eyes. How is that? How about this way? Does it expose properly? Do I need to give it a second? Is the sky blue? Is it just white? Oh, it exposed okay. You can see me a little bit. This is the Panasonic G9. This is very loud here. It's quieter by the traffic. I have to go back to the traffic to get some quietness here. There's people all over the place. It's not summer anymore. It's fall. You don't need to be mowing the lawn every half a day. It's all right. If it gets a little bit longer than an inch, it's okay. I don't know if you can see, there's just a dust cloud behind me. It's hard to breathe over here. It has dual stabilization. It has the IBIS in the body, and then it moves the picture around on the sensor, as well as moving the sensor. So if it gets distorted, I need to know, but mostly this should be great. This should be a great shot. It should be fairly smooth, even though I am rattling this camera like crazy. So I'm going to do this drawing and see if Harry was correct. Did this frustrate me? Was it difficult? Was it hard for me to do? I will tell you this. It wasn't what I expected. The difference between writing with it and drawing with it is like night and day. Completely different. All right, let's take a look at that. There it is. It's the beautiful Sharpie S-Gel. It looks like a tuxedo. It looks like it's black and silver. That's what it reminds me of. Like Sharpie pen in a tuxedo. Here's the thing, I wanted it to be the greatest thing in the world. When I write with it, it's so smooth. I take one to work. I use it frequently, every day, write with it. It's beautiful, it's smooth, it's wonderful. But I will tell you, Harry has won this round. During this drawing, I was so frustrated. When I went to put down the thick black lines, and went to put down the thick black spaces, the pen just dried up, like most pens. Halfway through the drawing, it just dries up, and it doesn't saturate as much as I want it to. It's a big disappointment. I wanted this to be a wonderful pen that I could use for these drawings all the time. Well, the other thing is, it is water soluble, so it's not permanent. It doesn't stay forever, so I can't watercolor over it. I can do, you'll see, I do a little bit of colored pencil over it, but it's still, I wish I could have done more. I would have liked to have done more. And it's that way with every fountain pen as well. Most fountain pen inks will be water soluble. I don't mind that. If I'm just doing a drawing, a pen and ink drawing, I don't mind that. It's not a big deal. I don't mind using colored pencils if I do want to add a little bit of color to it. That's fine. It's no problem. But in this instance, I wanted it to be better. It was so smooth, I figured, yeah, it'll block in nice, big, thick, black areas. That's what I wanted it for. And when I did that, it just didn't work out. The drawing part went fine. It draws very smoothly. It's not as smooth as I would like it, but it's a gel pen. It's pretty smooth. The other complaint I have is that that little clip is very rigid. So when I was at work, the one that I have there, I went to put it in my pocket and the thing just snapped right off, went flying across the room. It's not as flexible as I would like, but it was a cheap pen. It's a $1 pen maybe, and you get, it's not very expensive, but it's just, it wasn't what I wanted it to be. It wasn't. My search for the perfect pen continues, and I will tell Harry after he picks himself up off the floor from laughing at me, I thought it was funny too, because I would like him to continue to bring me gifts, and I also want to thank him for giving me a picture of his homeland out of his window from his point of view and what he sees. I think it's a pretty picture. It's not really what I wanted to draw. The depth that he has given me in this photo is amazing. I can't show it to you. I promised I would only show you the drawing, but it's beautiful. The colors are amazing. I tried to replicate them. You just can't do it on paper. It's just a beautiful thing. So I was on YouTube the other day and I saw a video for advanced Posca paint pen techniques. Advanced. Now I just did a video on the Posca paint pen. I drew a picture. I don't understand. It was a great video. I'm not bashing the artist. It was a great video, a lot of tips. I just can't think of an advanced way to do anything with anything. I'm just like a trained parrot to people, aren't I? It's okay. You can say it. I think I talk about a trained parrot in that video. I'll post it above and below, possibly. But this is what I offer. I use something. I tell you it's nice, it's pretty, it works, it doesn't work. These are the shortcomings for me. And that's it. Advanced techniques. If I went through an advanced techniques with this Sharpie gel pen right here, I don't think I'd come up with more than one thing. And that is to make sure that you don't draw too long because it'll go dry. That's about it. Everything else, I think that would be the most of it. And you see, I mean, I'm torturing this poor pen. I have this giant spot of just blackness that I wanted to pour onto this page and see what this pen could do. Almost like a stress test for a pen. And I did it. And it failed miserably. Or I failed miserably. One of us failed, or both of us have failed miserably. I don't think it was very good. And then I was going to give up, but I didn't give up. And I just decided to make it a little pretty with some colored pencils, put some color on it because the drawing itself was a little awkward. And I was going to do a whole page of just all this plant life, and it just didn't turn out that way. I got a little frustrated with it. I didn't want to draw with the pen anymore. It didn't do anything for me at that point. And so I went ahead, I did some color pencil stuff, and I figured, okay, this will be good enough. This will be it. And that's a big part of art. You have to allow yourself, and here's something that people have said to me, that a lot of people have said they try to doodle. A lot of people. It's not just one or two people. A lot of people have said, I try to doodle, I try and do this artwork, and I end up like trying to measure out guidelines, and this isn't perfect, and I can't continue, and I don't want to finish this because it looks messy and all this other stuff. This is a part of art. If you give yourself permission to fail in art, if you give yourself permission to do whatever you're going to do on that paper, just look at my drawings. Like I said, I sneeze on the page. That's basically my art. Just give yourself permission to put anything on there, any kind of garbage that shows up on that page. That's at least it's your garbage. And just say, look, this is good enough. Whatever you're doing is good enough. You're never going to be perfect. There's no such thing as I've made the perfect drawing. I've made the perfect painting. That's it. I can stop. I'm done. You're always going to do more. You're always going to do better, or sometimes worse. In this case, I did worse. I don't think it may be pretty for some people. In my opinion, this is worse than the last one I did. But that's okay. It's good enough. It's my art that I did. I had fun while I did it, except that not with this one. I struggled and got a little bit upset with the pen. But not with me, just with the pen. The pen couldn't do what I needed it to do. But look, to be fair, Sharpie did not design this pen to do what I'm doing to it. That's not what they were trying to do with this pen. They designed a pen that could write, and this thing writes smooth. If that's what this is for, they did it right. They succeeded. I have failed because I've tried to use the pen exactly what I said a couple videos ago. I tried to do something with this pen that it was not designed to do, and then I got frustrated at it because it wasn't doing what I wanted it to do. That's not its job. Its job was to write on paper, and it does that, and it does it smoothly. It's not designed to be a drawing implement, and that's how I was trying to use it, and then got frustrated with it. But it's not its fault. Like I said, it's my fault. User error, big time in this one. Hard. User error hard in this one. It's okay. It was good enough. I got the thing done. I think it's the third to last page in this sketchbook. So I have 2 more little drawings to do, or paintings to do, whatever I do. And then I'll be able to do a flip through. It's been one of my most favorite of all time books to work in. This is the Etcher. It's their standard Etcher series sketchbook. It's the hot press. I have enjoyed drawing in this book more than any other book I've ever had. It handles the things I need it to handle. Mixed media, wet, dry, doesn't matter. Even this colored pencil page, when I closed the book and I threw it, and I didn't go real heavy. There's not a whole lot of colored pencil on there. And it didn't transfer to the other page. It's a beautiful book. If you watch the video where I go through my top 5 favorite sketchbooks, I point that out on these books. It's not a flaw. It's nothing wrong with it. I use the full page. It's fine. It's just that the way it's bound, it's a little bit buckled in the middle. And I'm not saying that this is going to be the only. I'm probably not going to get another one of these sketchbooks for a little while because I have so many sketchbooks that I need to use and I need to use up. And I'm terrible at using sketchbooks because I always find their flaws and then I don't use them anymore. I put them down and say, I can't handle this anymore, and I put it away because it's just too much for me to deal with. So I go through multiple different books at a time, and then it allows me to focus on those flaws of that sketchbook and not pay attention to this one so much. So I go back and forth. Sometimes I use that one. Sometimes I use this one. It just gives me some breathing room in between my complaints. I don't know if you're like that. Do you just use whatever you use and just it's good enough and that's just how it is? I'm like that with my art. With my art supplies, sometimes it's good enough, but sometimes it gets to me. If I do a lot of drawings in the same book continuously, they get to me. I've done a lot in this book on this channel. Most of my stuff has been in this book on this channel. It still can get to me a little bit. There's a couple little things about it, like it's a soft page. It's a very soft paper, which is great for certain things, but when you're going at it with maybe a technical pen, or you're going at it with more of a dried fine liner, one that's maybe dried out a little bit, or this pen here started to tear at the page a little bit because it started to dry out a little bit. It gets caught on things. It snags. That's the word I'm looking for. It snags a little bit. So speaking of imperfections, I decided when I was looking up this pen to check it out on the Amazon question and answer page, and I regretted it instantly. I went to the page, and let's look at this first question. Does the ink hold up against moisture? I'm looking for a gel ink that you can write on paper and get wet without it bleeding. Anyone know? That's a great question for an artist, because you might want to put watercolor over something. You want to know, look, most gel pens are not waterproof. Most of them dissolve with water. So they're asking the question. Good question. Let's see what this loser says. Does not bleed through. It's definitely a quality gel pen with gel consistency, but the rate that the ink comes out isn't overbearing. Thank you for answering questions that no one is asking. I don't understand these people. If someone could explain this to me, I would appreciate it. They're giving information, and it may be useful information, but it has nothing to do with the question. When you see the question, you answer the question. Hey, do you like grapes? Well, the peanut butter's a little bit smooth. That's not the question. It may be. That peanut butter may be smooth, But I asked you if you like grapes. Okay, let's move on. Are they all black? Well, let's take a look at the description of the item. Sharpie S-Gel pens, medium point, 0.7, black ink, gel pen, 12 count. What do you think? Is it in the description? Look at the left on the picture. See that big bar that runs across the box that says black ink? Are you looking at a different picture when you asked the question? Were you looking at something different? I think all of these are black because it says black. Now, let's look at a follow-up question for that. How do I get the green color? This answer person here, Sarah, I left your name there because you are my new hero. The answer, you buy it. That is the greatest answer in all of Amazon. How do I get the green color? You buy it. That is a beautiful answer to a very annoying question. Next one. Can you write in a Photoshop book? Now, I don't know exactly what that means. Maybe it's something you do in Photoshop and they print pictures out and send it to you. I'm not entirely sure. The answer. These come with a protective cap on the tip of the pen, which you must manually and can easily remove before using. I don't even know. These two people may deserve each other. I don't know what a Photoshop book is. I don't know. I don't know if it's physical. If you're writing on the screen of your computer, don't laugh. I've seen people do it, especially when they do the sign here thing. I've seen people pick up a pen and write on the screen with their pen in ink on their monitor. Here's another one. These pens were terrible, all duds. None of them worked. Guzzy nibs. Ink not flowing properly. Refund please. So other than that refund please, that's it. These pens were terrible, all duds. You're giving a review in the question section. You can contact the company separately. It says when you buy the contact company or whatever, you contact them. You don't do it in the question. This is going out to other people who bought the... They can't give you a refund, but they answered them. It seems to write okay on glossy cardboard. I purchased a 1mm wide pen after being totally unhappy with the 0.7mm. Don't get your hopes up. They're letting them know, hey look, I know you're having a problem, but they write on glossy cardboard because that was relevant to what they're saying. And then it says they purchased one size, they were unhappy with the other size. Don't get your hopes up. In other words, this pen sucks. They're giving the review also in the answer. And that's not, these two people deserve each other. And last we have, will the ink bleed if exposed to water? Here's the answer. When I saw this question, I had to perform a test. I printed my name on a paper towel with my S-Gel pen and then saturated the paper towel. There was very minimal, almost no ink bleed. That was my own personal home test. I think you need to do a personal home test on whether or not you like to go around answering questions you don't know the answer to and then acting like a professional by creating and inventing a test method that has absolutely nothing to do with what the person is actually asking. What is this answer? They wrote on a paper towel with a gel pen and then stuck the paper towel under. Right now, if you have a gel pen in your home, please go write on a paper towel. Well, when the video is over, don't leave yet. Write on the paper towel and go run that under ice cold water. I guess cold water. Maybe I'm adding to the test. Maybe depends if you're using cold water or warm water. Just run it under any water. Run a paper towel under water? Minimal to almost no ink bleed? You probably tore a hole through the paper. How could you tell? Are you an official tester of writing implements? You're an official tester. You know how to test these Sharpie pens? All you got to do is write on a paper towel. You need to write a manual and send it to the company so that they know how to tell people how to test their products. I don't know what happened here. This person is taking this question way too seriously, putting way too much thought and effort into this other person's problem, and they probably think, oh, I'm one of those people. I'm very giving. I give to everybody. I give so much I don't make time for myself. And then they go into their whole pity story. Listen, just answer the question. I don't know. If you don't know, just don't answer the question. If you think you can answer the question, write on a piece of paper like it's supposed to be used, and then wet it, is what they're asking for. They probably write outside, and they want to know if it gets wet, is it going to destroy what I'm writing? That's probably what they're doing. And you're running a paper towel underwater. I don't think that's what they're doing. That's definitely not what they're doing. Okay, well that just proves my point. I don't think anybody in the Amazon world understands anything that's actually happening in the real world. They live behind a keyboard and they just type and they just pound on the keyboard. They go through Amazon, can I answer this question? Can I answer this question? And they just start answering things. They have no idea. Oh, I know, I can perform a test and answer this question. No, you can't. You have no idea what you're talking about. Leave it to someone who understands what the question is. Let them answer it. That's how we should do things. Poor Harry is over here on the floor. He can't even catch his breath laughing at these people. It's alright, Harry. Calm down. Calm down. Well, if you want to hear more lunacy, click one of these over here. Please subscribe, like the video, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.